Macmillan Audio presents Hidden Agendas by Lora Leigh. Read for you by Mackenzie Hart. Prologue. Diego Fuentes stared into the vast panorama of cliffs and ocean outside his borrowed home and reflected on destiny, the destiny of a man and what he builds through his life and how his legacy would be carried on, the destiny of a man born to power, but whose greatness is often diminished by those he loves, the destiny of a man determined to protect and nurture the last resource that would guide his empire into the future. At his side lay the report smuggled from the United States Offices of Homeland Security, the detailed pages of reports on the men he sought, their strengths and weaknesses, code names and locations, their operational status, and the fact that each man was part of the highly organized strike that had killed his youngest son and whore of a wife 18 months previously. The information on his oldest son was there as well. A strong, proud man, and one who had been involved in that same operation. There were threads and ties, loyalties and friendships among the 5 men. 5 now. There had once been 6, and each of them was another link in the chain that led to his son. He couldn't kill them, not and achieve his aims. As much as he wanted to kill all but one of them, his hands were bound. This game must be very carefully played. The sacrifice of his nephew and uncle in the operation against the DEA several months before had been regrettable, but they had known the risks, and they had failed. Failure was not acceptable. Now he must decide which pawn to move in the delicate battle waging between himself and the son he had slowly been courting for many months now. His fingers tapped against the arm of the leather chair as he stared into the distant skyline with narrowed eyes. Along with the reports had come the information on the U.S. senators heading a committee to oversee the enforcement of America's drug laws and to advise on certain operations being carried out. One such operation was Deep Sweep, a multi-agency task force set up to draw out the spy Diego had planted within their midst. A smile tipped his lips. He was no fool, despite the appearance of it that he had given lately. He saw the pawns, accepted the sacrifices, and allowed the illusion of his own humility for one end: to test the boy who would eventually inherit all Diego had built. Now, another move must be made. He turned, spreading his arms on the desk to encompass the files and reports laid out before him. Across the desk, his father's old advisor, Saul, waited patiently, his lined expression filled with sadness at the news that had come in, that Santiago and Manuelo had been arrested and were now being held in an American prison to await trial. "You have provided for my nephew and uncle's comfort?" he asked Saul then. Saul nodded patiently. "The money was passed to the proper hands as of this morning. All their needs will be taken care of." Diego nodded as he leaned back in his chair and regarded Saul quizzically. "And our spy, Mr. White, what have you learned?" Saul sighed heavily. "As I have warned you, my friend, this man, he is greedy and growing powerful, as is evidenced by his new association with the European terrorist, Sorel, who wishes to make use of your cartel. Together, they will move against you when they believe the time is right. They have evidently not decided that time has yet come." Diego nodded. This he knew as well. He had seen it coming in the past years, and in the carefully worded information he had been given by his spy. Power meant everything to some men, to this man especially, and he—
Sample complete. Ready to continue?